Hi, Genki here. Time to talk about Yokai Watch Music Note Episode 9 review. Sit back, enjoy some nice popcorn and some nice tea, and we'll dive right into it. This episode's broken up into multiple parts. 1, Don't Stop the Manga, or Manga o Tomeru na. And then you have Yokai Cooking Stadium, or Yokai Cooking Stadium, which there's another way to say that. And then there was the Yokai Nya Experience, which we're not even going to talk about. And then we have the 4 Koma-san Baseball, Yon Koma-san Yakyu. And then we have the announcement, Yokai Karikata, the press conference thing with the art. Or Hapyo Yokai ni ga oe kisha kaikin. And then we have another Yokai Switch. And then Yokai Theater Grandpa Kobutori, or Yokai Gekijo Kobutori Ji-san. This episode originally aired last week in Japan on June 4th. I'm just getting to it now because I've not really had a ton of time. This episode starts off with Nate talking about a comic. And then learning that the mangaka, or the manga artist who was drawing it, was having some issues. And then decides to take everything into his actions of his own so that he could get his favorite manga back going. The mangaka, or the manga artist and writer, was being inspirited by the one, the only, no-go cart, or, in Nihongo or Japanese, Mayo Iguruma. That just sounds like a significantly better name than no-go cart. Then again, I kind of give up on some of the localized names because some of them don't make sense. So, Nate tries to, Keita-kun tries to deal with this the most logical way, which is by bribing a certain Neko with choco bars to unload a fury of pulse strikes. Didn't work. Jibanyan was easily defeated by no-go kart's no-go mentality. Because when you are no-go, there's no way you can win, bro. Okay, joke aside, don't look at me that way. I'm allowed to make jokes. This is my own channel. Vtubers are allowed to make jokes. So, we have a indecisive mangaka who is unsure of tons of things. Even about his hero that looks more like Darth Vader and Batman fused together and had a baby than anything else. Keita-kun was left with zero options but to call forth a new Tomodachi, a new friend. The one, the only, deceivable, or Kimete Mao. That's a little bit difficult to say, but interesting looking yokai, to say the least. This is one that I kind of forgot existed. Oh, it's Yokai Watch 3, that's why. Soka. I only remember certain ones from Yokai Watch 3. Even with seeing them. So, Deceivable countered the no-go kart power. And basically got the mangaka, or the manga artist, or comic artist, to get back to work. Back to making manga. But then no-go kart's like, nah bro. No, 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 no. So they have a clash of power, but Deceivable kind of wins that. But then Keita-kun and No Go-Kart become Tomodachi, become friends, because both of them like this manga. Both of them like this comic book. But Deceivable, still in control of the mangaka, was too much for No Go-Kart. But, guys, it's time for another friend. Swaycorn. Or Dochisuchikazu. Wow, that's fun to say. Dochisukazu. Wow, I don't want to say that 10 times fast, but it's fun to say. This yokai is from Yokai Watch 3. Also in Wibwobble, or Puni Puni, Blasters 2. Anyone inspirited by Swaycorn becomes unable to make a clear-cut decision. Sounds like me when trying to decide what I want to eat when I'm out sometimes. Because there's always too many options. Maybe I've been inspirited this entire time and didn't know. Maybe. But that's for another day. Basically, the Brotherhood of Manga were able to defeat the despicable... I just lost my pun because of its name. The despicable decidable. And they get their manga. But now there's Mr. Ippon Kermon in Osaka. And everyone's excited. And then Yokai Switch. Whisper hits the wrong switch and then becomes imprisoned in bed. Yet again, guys, he is a ghost. He could easily just float through the bed. But Whisper's beaten up by Frostina, Lizzie, and then Mila. So, yeah, Whisper was basically foddered. I'm gonna talk about what I say is the second shining part of this episode, other than the first segment. And this is the cooking arena stuff. This was actually pretty well written. Jibanyan versus Komasan. And the ultimate miso cooking competition, except for neither of these two know how to use miso correctly. It's kind of mind-boggling how bad at cooking these guys are. It makes me think that Level 5's thinking, oh, we're going to make a cooking game next. Let's hope they do, because it's going to be comical. Jibanyan just wanted to put chocolate bars into his curry, or into his miso. So he did. Whisper was forcibly chosen to taste test it. Whisper dies again. Then Jibanyan tries to cook it with certain elements. Oh, Jibanyan. You can't go cooking people. Especially not Sprank or Steppa. I don't know why Numbskull's in there, except for, I guess, bones. Sometimes bones are used in miso soup. And Komasan. We know you love soft serve, but did you really have to just put your head under the soft serve and then make miso flavored soft serve? The segment ends when Komasan floods the place with miso soft serve. And then we end with the Gekijo, the theater, about the old man, and we have our big Oni Boy trio versus the old men. It was a very weird ending segment. I don't even know what this one is based off of. I'll look it up in the future, but it was short and sweet and to the point. Overall, this episode was solid. I have no real complaints. The writing does not make Keita-kun or Nate look dumb like some of the previous episodes have. This doesn't undervalue him. He's just a kid that really likes the manga. and that shows this in this episode. It plays off of that centralized thing. And the one thing I wish they would cut out is the extra stuff with Whisper, the Yokai Switchy, or Yokai Switch. Rarely are those funny. I mean, some of them are goofy and are okay, but rarely do I generally feel like laughing at them. We've discussed that the 4 Koma-san things are there for educational purposes sometimes, which I think they're good to stay. The art segment, I feel like they feel forced to do that because they feel like they need something to fill about a minute or two of their time, maybe 3. So I guess that's fine. In the Gekijo, the theater stuff, it works to a certain degree because they're parodying mythology, folklore, and fairy tales and stuff like that, which I guess it's fine because it doesn't really leave a bitter note. It just leaves kind of a mid note at the end. But overall, I did enjoy this episode. I feel like this is a A-tier episode. I feel like this reintroduced yokai that I should have remembered, which is a good thing. We're not seeing the same yokai over and over and over and over and over again like we were in 2019. But yeah, that's it for my review. Love and appreciate you all. Have a great day.